What's up, everybody? Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook here, talking Quay Walker, the outstanding linebacker out of Georgia at 6'3", 241, who reminds me a lot of the Baltimore Ravens' Tyus Bowser. You talk about someone that is as long as I-95, very good athleticism. One thing you won't see him do is get out-leveraged by an offensive lineman. This is a guy that does a great job in leveraging the ball with his length. You won't see him get outflanked. You won't see him take a bad angle as well. He has the athleticism, and he's very fluid in that regard, can smoothly make those transitions in coverage, change direction when pursuing the quarterback or the ball carrier. But zone coverage is a big area of concern for him. That'll be something he'll have to improve on as he moves forward to the next level.
Devonta Wyatt out of University of Georgia is one of 5 guys who's probably going to go in the first round. And he's the smaller defensive tackle at 6'4", 307 pounds, but that's because he's stacked up against Jordan Davis. But I see a lot of similarities in his game and Larry Ogunjobi's game at the next level. Very similar size, and while maybe not as physically imposing from a sheer size perspective, a little bit more athletic, able to shed blockers and get better pass rush through the middle, which is a quarterback's worst nightmare. So Devonta Wyatt may not be as big in stature as Jordan Davis, but he might get better production from a statistical standpoint with whatever team chooses him.
North Dakota State wide receiver Christian Watson has become the darling of the postseason draft process. Had a great Senior Bowl, impressed people, also had a good workout at his pro day, impressed people at the combine. He's a big physical receiver at 6'4" and can really run. Long strider. He's one of those guys that he runs away from people after catching the football. The concern with him is toughness. Will he be able to handle the physical play of the corners in the National Football League? We know he can go, but can he get away from the press man? Can he get away from guys having their hands on him? That's the one question about him when you talk to scouts and personnel people. I think he reminds me of DJ Chark, the former Jaguar and current Detroit Lions wide receiver, a big physical guy who can really go and will be a threat on the outside.
What's up, everybody? Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, taking a look at Sean Rhyan, the outstanding offensive lineman out of UCLA at 6'4", 324, whose game is very similar to that of Drew Forbes of the Cleveland Browns. He's a sturdy built player who does a solid job of getting movement in the run game. He's able to absorb a bull rush and set his feet and begin to redirect the defender. He'll get over-aggressive in his pass sets at times, which will leave him susceptible to counter moves that'll leave him in no man's land. But overall, in the run game, he's able to execute those down blocks, combo blocks, and straight-up base blocks. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the draft class. What's up, everyone? Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook here, talking about Zach Tom, the outstanding offensive lineman out of Wake Forest, who compares favorably to Isaiah Wynn. And this is a guy that can play center, guard, or tackle at the next level. He has some of the quickest, assertive, and quietest footwork in the draft class. He does a fantastic job of darting around the point of attack and across the line of scrimmage. He's never fooled by stunts or twists, but there are times where lengthier defensive linemen can get inside leverage on him and stop him at the line of scrimmage, essentially setting a physical edge.
South Carolina defensive end Kingsley Barre is a big physical power player. He is good against the run, but what he doesn't have is that explosive gear off the edge, and that's concerning to a lot of scouts. I think he can develop that. I think this is one of those guys, he may never be a 15-sack guy, but once he gets to the next level, he is one of those players that will get better with a little seasoning, a little coaching. He needs to use his hands better, but he's a tough physical player who will hold up against the run, will be good in the rotation early in his career, and maybe later on in his career be a much better pass rusher. Who's he remind me of? Olivier Vernon. When Olivier Vernon got into the league, he wasn't a great pass rusher, but he improved each and every year, and I think that's what you're going to see with Kingsley Barre. Penn State tackle Rasheed Walker sure looks the part. He's a big, strong left tackle, and at times he's dominant. There are games when you put on the tape and you say, wow, this kid is going to be a first-round pick. But the inconsistency is there, and that's the concern with him. He doesn't always have the wide base. His feet aren't always good. So it might just be a matter of getting good coaching to take his game to the next level. When you look at him, he looks the part. And sometimes when a guy looks the part and you get a little seasoning, he becomes a really good player. A former Penn State tackle, Donovan Smith of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is probably the comparison that I will use when I mention Rasheed Walker. He's another guy. Needed a little time to develop into a quality left tackle. Walker will as well. I think this is one of those kids, sits for a year or two, and then becomes a starting left tackle in the National Football League.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.